Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this weekly update on Dynamics 365. My name is Sven Nomen, and I'm the lead PTS at the QBS Group. As always, today we have muted the mics during the recording, but if you have questions, I please refer you to the IM window to ask questions, and we will open up the mics at the end of the session for any questions that you might have. So this is the last update before we enjoy a hopefully sunny summer. And I first wanted to point out to you all that on the 18th of June, there was a new Microsoft, what they call Blitz. And in the Microsoft Blitzes, they give a lot of information on the Dynamics 365 platform. And this is something for your product people to take a look at. And I've included the page on Dynamics Learning Portal, where all the information and all the recordings of this Blitz was shared. And in that Blitz, there was also some news on what we call the Microsoft Dynamics platform. And as you might have seen in the past, this picture before is that when we are automating a company, then we basically have three assets that we need to manage. We need to manage people, we need to manage products, we need to manage customers. Where we as Dynamics partners are mainly active on the product side, we can now also support our customers with people on the people side and the customer side. And what we see more and more that customers have demands that are not 100% met by the individual apps like Dynamics Business Central or Dynamics Customer Engagement. So what we see more and more is that we fill those gaps with basically the five main products that can help us from a business side. And those are Power BI, Power Apps, and Flow, the Common Data Service, and AI. So these are, in my opinion, the five areas that you should be taking a closer look at over the next few years. And as you might have seen at 2 o'clock today Dutch time, we will also have a webinar on our training that we are gonna run across Europe, where we will train our partners on both the Power Apps and Flow platform. And by the end of that day, you will have created an app that you can use for your own customers. So if you are interested and have not seen the invitation for the 2 o'clock webinar today, please raise your hand in the IM window and we will share that link with you so that you can join the webinar after this, in which we will explain the training that we were going to do on Power Apps and Flow. So obviously you've seen the Common Data Service that's becoming a more and more important part of our world. While there's good and bad news on that side, what we can see is that the marketing, sales, services, and talent apps are all connected to the Common Data Service. For AX/Finance and Operations, there's a data integrator option available, but at the moment there is no release date for. There is no release date. Sorry, we had some noise in the background. Just wanted to check what that was. No. So we have some, there's an integration with Finance and Operations. And at the moment there's for Business Central. And I should be back. Yeah. So what was the last time you could hear me? Because then I can go back. One slide back. So we were talking about the common data service. At the moment, the common data service is available with the marketing, sales, services, and talent apps. There's an integration with finance and operations / AX, but at the moment there's no automatically integration with the common data service. There is the possibility to add data manually from Dynamics NEV or Business Central to the common data service, but at the moment there's no release date uh, announced on for Business Central or NAV. From a Business Central perspective, during the Spring Blitz on June 18th, there was also released a document that's 222 pages on all the updates across the Dynamics 365 platform. But there were only 10 pages on Business Central, and I've scanned it. I haven't seen anything major there. But of course, that could be that what I didn't see as critical, it could be for your company, of course, critical. The other resource that I keep on sharing with you guys is there is a manual on Business Central, which is a 800-page plus PDF that was actually found by one of our partners. So that was great to be able to share that. If you have any questions related to Business Central from a functional perspective, so how do I do this? How do I do that? That this PDF is your main go-to because it's probably the best manual I've seen in years for any ERP product. So these are the four topics during the Blitz that were related to Business Central, and I especially want to point your attention to number 2 and number 3. Number 2, it shows you how to build a process flow against Business Central. So for instance, if you create a new customer, how do you set up a approval template with flow? Because at the moment, Business Central comes with 5 or 6 standard triggers from flow that you can use to trigger a workflow in Microsoft Flow. And the other one, the third one, is a video which is really in depth on how to integrate Power BI with Microsoft Flow. So if you have some spare time or you are waiting for something, this could be a nice way to spend your time. If we look at the readiness materials for Dynamics 365 Business Central, basically, there are 4 areas: e-learning, webinars, workshops, and online videos. And from an e-learning perspective, of course, there's the Dynamics Learning Portal, and the blue lines are available at the moment, and the rest is coming. So you can see there's a lot of information coming from Microsoft related to Business Central, but it's also sometimes almost overwhelming. So it would be good to talk to your teams and distribute the information across the team, because you can easily spend 2 weeks online on reviewing all this material. And as you are now probably in the phase where you are exploring Business Central, that's not always the best value of your time. There's a couple of workshops ran online to go in depth in the processes that you can run with Business Central. So building apps, finance, and trade. And there are a lot of videos on, well, more or less not related to the actual product, but about going to market, the different Spring and Blitz events, the roadmap, compelling prospect conversations, and these kinds of things. And last but not least, there are some webinars from the Directions organization. So for instance, one of them was the What's New in Finance 2018, which was really good. All these materials you can use to keep up to date. Of course, there's also the Ready to Go program that's launched with Microsoft and the ISV development centers like OneClick and the mastervars like QBS. And that's a complete set of services that can help you bring your IP from a current CAL version to extensions. And the URL for that is aka.ms ready to go. There you will find all the information on the Ready to Go program, and you can also find what Microsoft and QBS and OneClick are doing from that perspective. What we also have, of course, is our infamous Jammer network, jammer.com/QBS Partner Network. This is where we try to share all the information that we gather or that we have learned from the tickets that you were so kind to log with us. There's a section called Product and Licensing Information, and that's where we are answering questions all the time. So one of the questions that is the manual that I just shared, the 800 pages, and other things. So this should be one of your pages that you bookmark and that you use to search for information. But as I mentioned, the summer is coming up. So besides the Blitz, there was not real big new announcements from Microsoft related to Business Central. Of course, the Directions event in Den Haag in November. Hopefully, we're going to see the more news, and of course, we're going to see the announcements of Business Central on-premise. But as I am online today now, I want to open up the mics for people or AM for any questions that you might have. And that can be Business Central, that can be Ready to Go, can be NAV, can be, well, try me. And the worst thing that can happen is that I have to say, I don't know, I have to come back to that. So I'm going to open up the IM window as well. Yes. Oh, that was the mic. So we've got 86 people in the call. So I cannot imagine that there's no question whatsoever. Otherwise, we've been very good in sharing the information with you guys. Yes. Are we going to be going to a common data model for NavMBC in the next release? No. So in the next release, we will not see well, is that common data model or yeah? So the common data model / common data service. It's not to be expected that that's going to be out of the box available with Dynamics NAV / Business Central in the next release. It is on the roadmap, but it is possible to add data manually from your Dynamics NAV environment to the common data service. The next release of Dynamics NAV will be announced at Directions, and we expect that both the on-premise as the SaaS version will be named Dynamics Business Central. How to deploy a new instance of Business Central? Okay, so that's I believe that's going to be via the CSP portal, and Manon from our help desk has created a document on that. So we will share that with the sharing of this recording to you as well. Yeah, so the link to the session on 2 o'clock. Let me see. This is the link, Herke, to the meeting that we will have at 2 o'clock. Will there be any conversion tool for existing NAV users to Business Central? At the moment, there is only a GitHub project. but no official conversion at the moment. Do we know if Business Central will have any marketing from Microsoft advertising? Yeah, so yes, so there's a YouTube channel actually on Business Central. So if you search YouTube and Business Central, you will find a playlist from Microsoft where there's basically at least 10 videos on Business Central from Microsoft. How about Solutions App? When will deeper customization be available? So Danielle Geuler, I assume that you mean the current limitations with extensions. So I have no update on that. Maybe you can give an example of something that's not possible yet, and then I can answer in a more concrete manner. There's nothing new on the YouTube for a long time. I thought they actually posted some how-tos also on that YouTube channel. But if it's not on the YouTube channel from Microsoft, there is nothing new. So that's the one place that they post videos. And we also have to remember that Business Central is only 3 months old. There are some quite good videos that are 2 or 3 minutes long on the global perspective. And as most people buy Business Central with vertical IP, there's also a task for the partners to do there. Werner, when we will have a full demo versions? So Werner, if you log into trial.dynamics.com, as long as you keep the company name starting with Cronus, it will never expire. Stuart, currently we do not have any integration between Dynamics 365 customer engagement apps and Business Central using Flow. Yes, that is possible. So the problem at the moment is that the Dynamics NAV, not all the triggers are open, but you can set up an integration between customer engagement and Flow. You can set up an integration between business customer engagement and Business Central using Flow, because the trigger for Flow with customer engagement is open, so there's no limitations on integrating between CRM and Business Central from a Flow perspective. When comes a new version of available Dynamics 365? So Herke, the next version on-prem will be announced at Directions. Yes, sir. Do we know where the licensing will be changing? No, so there's no announcements on licensing at this point from Microsoft. Any more questions? Okay, thank you so much everybody for attending. And of course, I have one final slide to share with you, but I really hope you have a great summer, great weather, rest well, and hopefully I will see you in person in Directions in Den Haag this year. Thank you so much.